What's up, everybody? It's LaVar Arrington here, and man, do I have a treat for you for this interview. It's a 2-for-1. I got Hall of Famer Coach Andy Talley, who started the program, brought the program back in the 80s to the Villanova football team, to the university. And I have Coach Mark Ferrante, who is now the current coach and is having great success with the team. I got an opportunity to talk about what Coach Talley's doing with his organization and their part and what they play in the Villanova football's team moving forward and currently as in the NIL, the transfer portal, and recruiting. You'll want to hear all that and more. It's coming at you right here, right now. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Good in the Game podcast. Happy to have my guys Andy Talley here and Coach Mark Ferrante. Both coaches, obviously. Excited to have you guys. We gotten the conversation started with being PA guys, and obviously you're coaching in PA. My son, I must say, my son played for Delaware, so I got an opportunity to see you guys play Villanova. Not this past season, but the season prior to, when you guys played them in Delaware. I was actually at the game. And it was interesting because even before having this interview, I was thoroughly impressed with the operation of Villanova's football team. In fact, to the tune of where I was like, man, they need to be playing better talent. Like, it's a really, really good team. Interestingly enough, you guys are playing Penn State this year. First and foremost, how are you guys doing? Let's do that. We got the intro out of the way, but it's a pleasure to have you guys on the show. It's good in the game, and it's all about bringing people on that further the game and have conversations and experiences about what made good in the game, good for you personally. But how are you guys doing? How's everything?
Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, I'm doing great. All good. I've been away from the program for 7 years. Mark has done a fabulous job with it. And now I get to 2 or 3 games a year. He allows me to come and stay out of trouble and not say too much, keep my mouth shut. And I enjoy watching the game. And I've been running my foundation, the Talley Bone Marrow Foundation.
Yes, yes.
And
Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
yeah, we're saving a lot of lives. We've been doing it for almost 30 years, and it's something that I was able to start way, way, way back. And thankfully, it has progressed. We have, oh my gosh, 400 college football teams that do marrow drives with me every year. We have 275,000 registrations and 1,750 donations at this point in time, donations that actually have gone on and saved a life. So it's been something that is very special. And Mark, of course, has been involved with me over the years and helped me keep it going. And it's been terrific. And I don't think either of us have ever had a college football coach say no to us when we've asked him if he would do a marrow drive at his school and help us save lives. So it's been a wonderful thing. Nobody in the country is really doing it kind of as big as we're doing it, but we're fortunate because we have college football as our background. So when you get a college coach, you got a hitter behind you. It's good stuff.
Mhm. Indeed, indeed. What about you, Coach Mark?
Yeah, I could just echo all those same sentiments. First of all, back to your opening statement, you should have come up and said hello at that Delaware game. I know you were on the opposing team sidelines, so you should have come and said hello. As you know, they've been our rival for
I do
all these
know.
years.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. I did. I spectated. I like to
right
play in the background, and I was being dad that day. So,
there you
but
go.
it was very impressive to watch you guys play. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we
Physical, the type of it's PA football. I loved it.
right,
I loved it. I
right.
got to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you being a PA guy, I mean, back in the day when Westbrook was with us and Coach was the head coach, we played
There you go.
Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Westbrook had a day; he had over 400 all-purpose yards against
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, and then obviously you're up there with Joe Pot, Penn State, so you were fun to
Yeah.
watch.
Thank you.
The LaVar leap against
Lee.
Illinois was awesome.
Thank you.
all that stuff. But, the main reason for this call, as Coach just said, is, what we've been doing and what Coach Talley started at Villanova. I mean, he started the program way before he even started his foundation. It was probably over 30 years ago when Coach Talley realized that, hey, all these blood cancers are curable if we have enough donors, and there's just not enough people on the registry. I remember Coach coming into the office. I was a young assistant at the time, and Coach said he heard a commercial on the radio saying we just need more people in the registry. So we actually, the first test we did on our campus was with our whole team. You got 90 players, healthy body players. Back then you were giving blood. So we had to bring in the nurses to one of our facilities, and I had to draw blood, and we added, the players plus the coaching staff. So over 100 people we added to the registry. And then the ironic thing is the next year you only have 20 new freshmen. So how can you add 100 the first year and only 20 new people the next year? So that's when Coach Talley said, let's do a drive on Villanova's campus. And, we started registering 200 and 300 people to the registry and all those things. And then Coach, through, as he already stated, through the fraternity of college coaches, he called Al Bagnoli down at Penn. He called his college roommate, Larry Ciotti, up at Yale, and just started asking people throughout the country to do drives. And as Coach just stated, there's over 400 universities now nationwide that run bone marrow drives on their campuses, primarily during spring football practice. And the numbers have just been outstanding. So that's kind of how it started. And Coach Talley, 18 years ago now, started his Andy Talley Bone Marrow Foundation. And, like I said, I know that's what this call is all about. And it's started at Villanova, and we just keep it going and do our part the best we can. And it's been real exciting. And, hey, anytime someone has a chance to save a life, who's going to say no to that?
I mean, that's amazing. And this is also what comes from being a part of something so great in the game of football. Coach Talley, you are a Hall of Fame coach. The amount of success that you had at Villanova was amazing. You delivered a national championship to the school. You boasted an impeccable and amazing career as a coach. How did that career play a part in the thought process of how you're approaching doing, this work that you are now doing philanthropically? And Coach Ferrante, how does it for you being the heir to Coach Talley and what you have represented as well? Just for the two of you, Coach, how the approach of coaching, the approach of being in football, how has that played a part in your thought process? How has that helped you, Coach, in keeping the legacy going, building the tradition at Villanova currently?
Well, it was something that was really easy to do because I had been in college football for a number of years and knew a lot of head coaches. And, when you have relationships with college head coaches, they're all good guys. And even if you're playing some of them year in and year out, you usually develop a pretty good relationship. So when you talk to a coach about, can you help me save a life? Sure, I'll be happy to help you save a life. How do I do it? Well, here's how you do it. And you explain to him how to run a bone marrow drive and get his players involved, and then get people in the school to come to the drive and so on. And some of the coaches, first year or two, it took them a little while to kind of figure that out. And other coaches went after it, and they'd have maybe 3, 4, 500 people at their drive. And then some of the drives were maybe 50, 100, 150, until all of a sudden they would see the numbers of their friends and they would go, okay,
They
we
want to
need
get
to
involved.
we need to get after this
Right,
and
right.
and get it done. And of course, Coach Ferrante played for me at St. Lawrence University. Uh,
Nice.
he
I
was
did
a
see that.
he was a great player and was a quarterback, believe it or not. And he could run and he could throw. But when I first recruited him, he couldn't throw very well because
Mm.
he was a wishbone
Wishbone
quarterback.
coat. Okay,
Yeah,
wishbone
yeah,
guy. All right, okay.
and
You
and
got
and he
that
ran.
wishbone look to you. You'll put your face in the fan. You
That,
got that look to you.
that means you're tough.
That's right. That's right.
So we had fun with him, developing his arm, and boy, he got really good. And in his senior year, he could run and throw, and we almost won a national championship at tiny St. Lawrence in upstate New York, population 5,000 people in town.
Wow,
Um,
wow.
but it was great, and we had a great run. Then I left and went to I don't know where I went. Where did I go, Mark? After that, I go to Villanova. I guess I
Yes,
did.
sir.
Yeah, I went to Villanova, and and at that time Villanova had dropped football. It was Howie Long's last year at
Wow.
Villanova, so they dropped. There was no football for 4 years.
Okay.
So I was the guy that was
60,
designated
60,
to bring it
what,
back.
66, 60,
19,
76, 76, right?
1986.
86,
Yep,
86. You brought
right.
it back in 86,
Yes,
correct?
that's we brought it. Was it 84, Mark?
No,
'84.
Coach. They dropped it in '81, right after Howie's senior
81.
year,
Right,
and then
right.
Coach Talley got hired in the spring of '84, and then
'84.
the
There we go.
first season was '86.
87, 86, 86.
Yes, sir.
You
Yep.
sure? Are we sure on this?
We are now. Yes, sir.
All right, and then all right. So go from there. Bam. So you get hired back. You start start things back. Now you went to Villanova with them, coach, or how did that?
No,
How did I? Okay,
no. I coached a couple different places. Matter of fact, Steve Spagnolo, you know that
that's
name.
my guy. Absolutely.
Spags and I were roommates at Lafayette when I coached at Lafayette.
That's awesome.
So that was 85 and 86 when I was down up still not on coach's staff. I reunited with Coach Talley in 87,
Okay.
which was the first year we went into the FCS ranks, old 1AA, as you recall.
Oh
And,
yeah.
and then in 1989 was our first year we were eligible for the Yankee Conference at the time, and we made the playoffs and we drew a short straw that year. We had to play Georgia Southern, which was the number one team in the country back then in 1989 with Irk Russell. But no, I've been at Villanova since 1987. I reunited with Coach then, but Coach did recruit me and coach me up at St. Lawrence. And as he said, when he says a good athlete, let's define what a good athlete is. You know what I mean? I wasn't very fast, I wasn't very strong, and I wasn't very good thrower, but we just found a way to win. And it worked out really well from that perspective. But we made it to the semifinals that year, which was awesome. And, I'm just fortunate that Coach gave me an opportunity to, join his staff in 1987 back at Villanova and, been there ever since. I haven't been one of the coaches that have bounced around, the Joe Paternos and Bobby Bowdens and, Osbornes of the world, and they don't exist anymore. People are
They
bouncing
don't.
all over the place, but I've been fortunate enough to stay in one place, and Villanova's been my home and raised a family and so on. So it's been great for me.
And you've had some great success, as I mentioned. I mean, the last 2 years have been phenomenal. Uh, might have had a little down year the year before that one, but the year before that, you had a great season record wise. What lessons did you learn from Coach Talley? And Coach Talley, what lessons were important for you to pass on to your fellow your constituents, your coaching staff, as well as your players? Because obviously Coach was your player when you guys first got introduced to one another. What type of messages were those that you wanted them to receive?
Well, go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, what I'll say is, we have a great balance at our place. We definitely, football is extremely important to us, but so are our families. Recruiting. Coach Talley always said back in the day, if you have good players, you can be a good coach. And recruiting the right people, the people that you want to. Basically, our selling points at Villanova are the same as when Coach Talley was there. If someone's looking to receive a great education and play a great level of football and give back and be a great person in the community, that's the person we're looking for. And those are the three boxes we try to check when we're out there and recruiting student athletes from high school. Obviously today's landscape's a little different. We do dabble in the recruiting transfer portal a little bit, but not much. We're still trying to bring them in at the foundational level as freshmen and build them up the way we'd love to, get them to show the way at Villanova. And that's something that Coach has, instilled in me from the very beginning, the recruiting aspect of thing and recruiting good people and giving your coaches the autonomy to be coaches. I'm not looking over our guys' shoulders. Our coordinators are the guys that are going to run their things on their side of the ball and through special teams as well. And, obviously I have my hand in things, but I let them do their job and hire good people and surround yourself with good people, players and coaches alike. And, things can work out well if you do that. And those are some of the things that coaches instill with me, as well as keeping your family close.
Does that sound good to you, Coach Talley?
Oh yeah, we used to follow, a pretty easy philosophy. Number one, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice,
Mm.
and we thought that that was important. And then the other thing that I tried to instill was, you ain't got no animals, you ain't got no circus. We needed a circus, so every now and then we recruit a few animals.
I hear you. Nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. All right. So and listen, when you gotta have, because having talent is super important. There's always that idea of the mix between, the borderline of insanity and actually someone who can control those emotions, so to speak, and be able to be productive. Just talk to me a little bit about just kind of the perspective or the philosophy of, you mentioned recruiting the right guys, bringing in the right guys, a Villanova man, so to speak. What are you looking for? Because that's important, understanding the portal and understanding what's going on with NIL. What type of guys are you guys, looking for now as you go out there and seek the talent for your program?
When I have a family sitting in my office and with his parents, I tell them there's the three boxes we want to check. We want you to come here and get a very meaningful degree and graduate from Villanova. We want you to
Yep.
we want you to come here and work your tail off to become the best possible athlete you can be in the sport of football. And we want you to come here and give back to your community. So, we're trying to have guys, when they leave our place, be great husbands, great fathers, great men of their community, whenever their football career may end. I mean, you got the Finnerans and Westbrooks and Howie Longs of the world that have had, extended careers in the NFL, but the majority of our guys go on and start their careers when they graduate from Villanova. So, we're just trying to check those three boxes, as I say, and talent alone doesn't get you there. You know that. We're
That's
looking for
true. Very
people.
true.
We're looking for people that are accountable, responsible for their actions, going to do what they say and stand by their word, and be great teammates. How do you be a great teammate? Well, you sacrifice for others. You're selfless. You're going to get to know your teammates. You're going to learn to love your teammates and play for each other. And those are the things we talk about all the time. So we have a pretty good locker room right now, thankfully, and I hope that will continue. But, we're just trying to get our guys to understand the importance of accountability, responsibility, showing up, do the work, perseverance, all the stuff that, you hear coaches talk about, but sometimes doesn't happen within the locker room. And, those are things that our guys hear about all the time.
Indeed.
Yeah, we didn't take transfer students. It was a rarity for us to take a transfer. The player that we recruited had to be prepared to be a Villanova student. As Mark said, he needs to come in academically and understand that that's why he's there first, to get an education. So that was paramount for us. And you might see one or two transfers at Villanova when I was there, and it was ongoing. And Mark has been pretty close to that as well. It's a school that academically is very, very serious. Um, and I also decided that I would recruit the country. So it was important for me to leave Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and get to California. So I went to California after about 10 years at Villanova and started recruiting Southern California. It was a tremendous area for me, because I found that in California, I could get academic kids that were serious about getting good grades and also wanted to play good football and
Mm.
wanted and wanted to travel east. They were excited about coming east. So that was very helpful to us. And so while I was there, we mixed up our recruiting. We did recruit Florida some, but the far west was an area that we worked in as far as the Northeast.
That is awesome. Yeah, I live in Southern California. My son just went to Penn State. There's a lot of private schools out here. There's quite a few quality private schools out here too, where the grades are very, very focused in on. So it's an interesting point that you make there. You know let me ask you guys this: with where football is going now, and seeing how everything is kind of, I guess, developing with the whole NIL scenarios. It's a conversation that everyone is having. How have you guys looked at it in terms of what you feel the proper approach is? Do you feel like this is a good thing for what you guys have going on? Is it a challenging thing?
As a former college player, what do you think about it?
I think there's a lot of pros. I think there's a
Right.
lot of cons. And I think
Right.
that I don't know that the cons were weighed out and measured out, and maybe even solutions being put in place for the cons that would have made the pros that much more impactful or better.
Right.
That's what I'd say.
We've been blessed. We've been managing, navigating, doing the best we can. We've been fortunate. Let's start with the transfer portal aspect of things, where if guys aren't happy, they can just depart and go somewhere else. The last 3 years is when it's gotten crazy, as you know, and we've only lost one player to transfer each year in the last 3 years. So we've been able to manage and maintain our roster for the most part, which I think has been helpful for our success, because we have guys that have been playing together for a long, long time. As far as the NIL/collective, which is now called Rev Share, it's all different these days. I've always been very upfront, honest, transparent with recruits, families, players, whether I was a positional coach at the time or now currently head coach. So I have yet to have a recruit and their family ask me to talk to their agent. I have yet to have a recruit and their family ask me anything about NIL in the recruiting process. The people that are eligible to receive some type of NIL/rev share now, used to be collective a year ago. The people that are eligible in our program are the guys that are exhausting their final year of eligibility in our program. So call it a loyalty bonus, if you will.
Okay. All right.
And so that's how I've been managing it, navigating it. And our players have heard that message from me over the last 3 years. And as I stated, we've only lost one player per year. And we've been blessed to also bring in some transfers. We dabble in the transfer portal, but we don't look at the transfer portal until the end of the fall season. And here's what I mean by that, LaVar. We have some players that have another year of eligibility, but already have their career and their job opportunities lined up. So they pretty much retire from college athletics to go start their career. So we have some older guys that we invite back for that extra year of eligibility, and they move on. And then we have some other players who are on scholarship that maybe haven't produced on the field as much as you had hoped they would when you recruited them as freshmen, but they're getting their degree from Villanova and graduating in the spring. So there's some guys that we don't invite back for their final year of eligibility. And so they move on, and if they want to play and finish their eligibility at another school. So we replace some of those older guys with grad transfers.
Okay.
So last year we lost one wide receiver, and we brought in 6 grad transfers from other schools in various positions. So that's how we've been navigating. But we do have 18 freshmen coming in. So we primarily recruit high school student athletes during the bulk of the year for recruiting. And when we get to the end of the year, if we have some older
needs.
If we have some older guys
Some
that
needs.
exactly,
Yeah.
if we have some
Yeah.
older guys that we need to fill a void with, then we'll look at some of the grad guys. And some of the grad transfers we brought in have been very successful and helpful to our continued success. But we really like to bring in the high school guy, develop them from the ground floor up to get them to understand what we're trying to do here at Villanova. And like I said, we haven't lost many to the portal, so we've been blessed.
That's awesome. Talking to Coach Ferrante and Coach Hall of Fame Coach Andy Talley. Before I let you guys go, just talk to me a little bit, Coach, about with the work you're doing. How has building what you're doing in this race to garner or gain more people to donate bone marrow? How has that compared to what you built and how you built it, being a coach at Villanova at the college level, having so much success? I would assume that your process is what has been able to maybe translate over to what you're doing now. But just to me, I'm curious, how does that work? Like your structure that you created, the standard that you created as a coach, how does that play a part in what you're doing now?
Well, the biggest thing that's going on right now is that there are so many blood cancers that are out there, especially within the African American community. And it's just a terrible, terrible situation that needs improvement and help on a daily basis. So for me, that's where I spend a lot of my time, and I did while I was at Villanova. But now, now that I'm not coaching, I'm certainly much more involved in trying to seek out people who really need help, and then figure out a way in which I can help them. And we've been able to do that because I've developed a lot of contacts in the country now, where people can go and get help, either with a blood donation. And so it's incredibly important to be aware of that. Uh, and of course, not having to worry about if we're going to throw the ball, run the ball, recruit, coach. I don't have to worry about that. Mark's got to worry about that. I can get on the ground and get after, what we're really trying to do is save lives on a very daily basis. And we'll usually do anywhere between 5 and 7 people every day that need a bone marrow transplant and take them in and get them going. So it's been an incredible thing. But the blood cancers are so out there. It's just a big concern to me.
Well, I think that's amazing. And everybody out there that wants to support, you can go to the tallybonemarrow.org. Uh, Make sure you check out what Coach is talking about. Get involved. Obviously, it's always one thing when you're doing it for someone else. It's special. It's always crazy and it's hard and tough when you're doing it for someone directly connected to you. So it's always nice to do the nice thing while you're still doing it for someone other than just yourself. So make sure you check out tallybonemarrow.org. Coach Ferrante, Coach Talley, it's a pleasure having you guys on the Good in the Game podcast. Super excited to see the season this year. As I mentioned, I saw that you guys are going to come battle for the Pennsylvania belt. So I'll make sure I come see you before that game to say hello and greet you. But I wish you well. I wish you luck. Obviously, I will continue to spread the gospel of getting involved and trying to save a life. So I appreciate you guys coming on the show today.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
Absolutely.
Thanks, LaVar. Thanks
Absolutely.
very much for having us.
All right, that was Coach Ferrante and Hall of Fame Coach Andy Talley. Coach Talley, obviously, make sure you go check out the tallybonemarrow.org and see what you can do to contribute and help in the drive for bone marrow. It's an amazing thing what Coach Talley is doing and leading with that marrow drive. And for Coach Ferrante, what he's been able to do with this Villanova team. You heard they're going to play Penn State this year, me being a Penn Stater, so I'm excited to see that. So good luck to both of them in their endeavors. Make sure you check out what they have going on. Make sure you check out what's going on with Good in the Game, the podcast from National Football Foundation. Make sure you subscribe so you get all of the updates. Make sure you continue to check out all of the awesome interviews that are taking place. I'm so happy to be a part of doing those interviews. So for me, LaVar Arrington, and the rest of us here with Good in the Game, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We have more coming. All right. Take care, guys.